Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Warriors Fastbreak here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona, and this week we'll start out by talking women's basketball with head coach Scott Ballard. And before we get into this weekend's games, I want to make sure that we have a little time to address Alumni Weekend, which is this past weekend. And I think turnout was a little hampered because of the snow, but still it was fun to see some of the past players on the court again.
It was a lot of fun for me because the 7 people that we had come back, they were all people that played for me at some time. So it always brings back a lot of really good memories and fun times, and they have a good time when they get back together, and it just reminds you of one of the biggest reasons why you do this is because of relationships, and now most of them now are married, and they have their own families and pictures and stories, that are related, and it just makes for a good time. It was disappointing that the weather had to hit at that time because we had a good number that were planning on coming, and some of them were flying in and whatever, but it's better safe than sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And it was fun to watch that game and see some of the shots that were
It was a half-court game this year because
right.
our numbers were low, but they still had a good time.
All right. Well, let's get into the games then this weekend because it was a good weekend for your team. Overall, your thoughts on the weekend?
Well, it's been a while since we had a 2-0 weekend. It's our first one at home. And anytime you go 2-0, regardless of who you play, it's going to help you in the standings a lot. But, Crookston is having a tough year, and they've had some injuries. They're still dangerous. Their style of play, they don't really have a true post player. So it was challenging for our bigs, our post people, to go out and defend people on the perimeter. But we did a pretty good job with that. Anytime you shoot the ball well, it makes things seem a whole lot easier. And for the most part, we did shoot the ball well both nights. But you have to prepare for everybody the same, and as far as how much time you put into it, and watching film and going through stuff, because on a given night, the best team doesn't always win. That's why you play the game. But usually the team that plays the best does win. And Crookston, they've got a win over Wayne, which helps us. But we had a lot of respect for them and knew that they were dangerous. And then Bemidji was coming off an overtime win against Upper Iowa from Friday night. They looked a little sluggish and a little flat beginning of the game, but we played exceptionally well the first half, and I think we were up 17 at halftime, but then halftime saved them, and they came out in the second half and made a big run at us in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, and actually took their first lead of the night, a 1-point lead with like 6.5 minutes to go. It was a combination of things. We had some foul trouble. We had trouble handling their 2 big post people inside, their physicality. The game was not called close, so it makes it an advantage for the bigger people close to the basket. Third quarter, we missed some good shots, took some tough shots, struggled scoring for a period of time. But then once they took a 1-point lead, we basically went with a small lineup because of the foul trouble and how things were going. And we did really well the last 6.5 minutes of the game. We went to zone, which was the first time this year that we had done that, and it kind of slowed things down and helped us, change the momentum. But Allie Pickering had a really good weekend, big night on Saturday night, and then Taylor Husted, she really put together a great fourth quarter, which helped us take the lead back and extend it and give us a cushion to work with. But overall, it was a good weekend, and we had struggled with the Saturday games,
right.
A good portion of this season, and I was pleased to see how focused and how much energy we played with on Saturday compared to past Saturdays.
I want to talk about the foul trouble against Bemidji because I want to give credit to your team and then you and your coaching staff because the foul trouble kind of started early in the third quarter, but nobody fouled out of the game. The substitutions that you made allowed that to happen, and then the discipline from your players in foul trouble to not foul out of the game, I thought was great.
Yeah, well, we used, Emma was in foul trouble the whole night, early and often. And we used Ava a lot in the first half, and she ended up with 4 fouls by halftime. And we used Alex a lot. And they gave us some quality minutes. And then when we got into, the last half of the fourth quarter, we went with a smaller lineup and played Taylor Husted at the 5, and Abby Callahan played the 4. And we were able to defend really well and still rebound, and we're just a lot more active on defense. But we found ways to score offensively through Allie and through Taylor.
I want to mention, you said Allie Pickering had a really good weekend, and we haven't seen any of the NSIC awards. Hopefully she's considered for Player of the Week for what she did this weekend. But I kind of want to clear something up. Although we were talking about what a great weekend she had, it wasn't that I was surprised that she had a great weekend, but it was good to see her get back into that kind of scoring flow again.
Well, she's been nursing a sore knee since the Northern State game, and we did not practice Taylor on Monday and Tuesday with a back issue, and I think we rested Allie on Monday and then limited her reps all week. So it was feeling much better for Friday and Saturday's games, and I checked with her yesterday and she said it felt pretty good too. So we're hoping that we're getting ahead of that so that it doesn't hinder her in any way. But Allie, I think she hit 5 threes in each game, shot a really good percentage, defended well, got some rebounds. I mean, she was just showing up in the stat sheet in every way possible. But her teammates did a good job of getting her the ball at the right time and knowing where she was at. So it was a great team effort.
All right, and then about 30 seconds here. This weekend, Southwest and Sioux Falls. I know that's big because you're 2 games behind Sioux Falls in the conference standings, and you'll play them later on in February.
Yeah, well, they're 17-2, and it's not because they're lucky. They're really good. They've got 6 seniors, and they're playing 5 of them the majority of the time now. They've had some close games, but we're playing 2 really good teams that play a lot of 4 out and 1 in, shoot a lot of threes, get in transition. They're both hot. Southwest has won 3 games in a row. Them and Sioux Falls both just went on the road and won at Mary and at Minot, which that's a long, hard trip against some quality opponents. So we're not only playing 2 good teams, we're playing 2 good teams that are hot, and then they're going to be at home. So they're both going to be very challenging for us, and we've got to have a good week of practice and preparing for them.
All right, should be a good weekend of basketball. We're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break. When we come back, Jenna Bruss will join us right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
I am at my breaking point.
These families, they are in a very desperate situation.
Hello.
I go into a family's home
I'm going to watch, I'm going to observe.
to be a voice for children and bring solution to those problems that they have. Super Nanny is about transformation. When families discover the magic within themselves, that for me never gets old.
Super Nanny, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on Lifetime.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. Now joining us is Jenna Bruss. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, since this is the first time that we've had you on the show, we want to kind of go back to your high school days, Fox Valley Lutheran in Wisconsin. You're a multiple sport athlete, so you got a lot of things to choose from here. Is there any one thing that stands out from your high school career that you'll always think back on?
The good thing about being multiple sport athlete, I actually did basketball, volleyball, and track, and then senior year I decided to do softball. And it's nice because all those sports help basketball. Like volleyball, you have the jumping, track, I mean, you're running, you're in shape. So, and like all the people you meet through each individual sport, it was just super cool to be a part of multiple.
So how did you decide to play softball your senior year? I think I saw you hit over 300, maybe 320, something like that. That's pretty good for not having played before,
Yeah,
or at least in high school.
Yeah, I played up until 8th grade. So then senior year, or freshman year, I had to pick between track and softball. And I picked track the first 3 years, and it was actually kind of a controversy my senior year because a lot of the relays that I was a part of did really well, but I really wanted to just have fun my senior year, and track brought a lot of stress. And I didn't like the nerves I'd get before every race and things like that. So I'm happy I did softball, but track did me good 3 years. So.
Okay. How did you decide then that basketball was what you wanted to focus on, and how did Winona State come into the picture?
So basketball, ever since I was 5, that's what I did. I did club volleyball for a few years, but never anything serious. So I did AAU starting in 5th or 6th grade. So then after doing that, I decided that's where my heart was. I like basketball the most. So then Winona came around my senior year, and they told me they were interested in me. I came and checked out campus and loved everything about it. So here I am.
All right. So what did you see from Jenna that made you want to bring her here to Winona State?
Well, we got to watch her a lot in AAU, her junior and senior year, and she played with a really good program over there in Wisconsin. And Coach Wirtz was familiar with her from way back when she was younger. But we just seen someone that was very competitive, very fundamental, made good decisions, was a great team player. We just loved all of the intangibles that came along with her skill set. So it was a good fit for both of us.
All right. Well, I know it's kind of difficult in the first couple of years to kind of break into the lineup and show what you want to do. Friday was kind of your breakout game. Taylor Klug was out, and so the bench kind of opened up a little bit. You get on the court, 11 points. Tell us a little bit, and 3 of 3 from 3-point range. Tell us a little bit about that game and what that was like to kind of show what you can do.
Yeah, it was nice because the coaches told me, they gave me a few options and shots at it this early in the year, and I never seemed to run with it. So this game, I felt like I ran with it at least a little more than the past. But I never went in thinking points are going to get me to play. They always say that defense, we need someone to defend, and then we can put 4 other girls on the court with you to play. So I never went out there thinking I need to score so that I stay in. That never crossed my mind, but it happened and it worked out well, so it was nice.
So what do you feel then is the best part of your game at this point?
At this point, I like to say defending and then passing. I tend to honestly pass up shots that I know I probably should be taking, but I know a lot of my teammates probably have better shots than me, so I give them the ball. But yeah, I'd probably say sharing the ball, and I hope to defend a little better.
All right, and what does the team need to do to be successful this weekend in 2 really big games?
I think we need to keep our composure and just play the basketball we know. And especially the first half of Bemidji, Coach Wirtz always is talking about we need to find it. And we're still looking for it, but I think we're getting closer and closer. So I think hopefully these next few days of practice, we find it and then keep it and then play well and come out with some wins.
All right. Well, I hope that you find it as well this weekend. Good luck this weekend, and we'll see you next week here on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break. When we come back, we'll talk men's basketball with head coach Todd Eisner right after this.
Hell yeah. Maybe we should have a dance-off. Well, let's try that again.
Nailed it!
Bitchin' Rides, new episode Wednesday at 9 on Motor Trend. Or start your free trial of the Motor Trend app to stream every episode commercial-free.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Getting the right look at the right price.
Perfect.
Is always in style. at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-60.
See you for season 3 of The Masked Singer. Costumes ready. Who is that? Special delivery from Fox for, you gotta be kidding me. Season 3 is about to be lit.
The Masked Singer Season 3, the biggest celebrities yet, premieres after the Super Bowl on Fox.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. We'll switch to men's basketball with head coach Todd Eisner. And Coach, just like I asked Coach Ballard before we get into the games this weekend, it was Alumni Weekend. Tell us what it was like to have some of those guys back on the court.
Yeah, it's always great to have the former players back on campus, and they get to spend an hour reliving the glory days. And it was a tough weekend, obviously, with the weather. We actually had as big a response this year as we've had in our 5 years here. We had 25 guys signed up to be here, and unfortunately only 11 were able to make it. And you can't control the weather, but it was good for the guys that were able to make it back. It was good to see them again and spend some time with them after the game. Yeah, and I heard after the game that they were trying to make sure that this continues, that they keep wanting to come back here. Yeah, I think Pat Hayes, obviously, who's one of the older of the group, has certainly been real instrumental in rallying up people, and I've been really pleased that the guys that I was fortunate to coach over the last 4+ years have made an effort to come back. So hopefully we can keep this going for a long time. All right, and we were able to watch them in the stands too, cheer on this year's team, which was nice to see. Let's talk about the games this weekend and lead off with Minnesota Crookston. Obviously, when you were in here last week, you knew that Harrison Cleary was someone that you were going to have to stop, and if you were going to get a win, you did, and you did pick up a win. Yeah, it was really an unbelievable effort. Starting out team effort, but I thought Caleb was the catalyst. We put Caleb on Harrison. It was as good a performance as Caleb's had defensively in his career. Harrison Cleary is an unbelievable scorer. He can get you in so many different ways. We did a good job of, for the most part, keeping him off the free throw line. And he actually missed 2, shooting 93% on the year. And but to have him be, I think he was 7 of 17 or something like that from the floor. We just did a really good job of making his day challenging, and I thought that was the key to the game. I want to get your thoughts on this, and if you don't want to answer, that's fine. But I noticed that after he hit one three-pointer, he kind of gestured to the crowd. That seemed to get you guys going to say, okay, we're not going to have this happen again, and maybe that kind of sparked a little bit more of the defense. Any thoughts on that? I didn't know about it. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I don't pay a lot of attention to stuff like that that's going on. I thought our guys did a really good job. They started out 6-0, I think, and I had to call a timeout. And really from that point on, in the rest of the first half, it was as good a team performance as we've had defensively, which was 3 halves in a row because we did such a nice job against Augustana on Saturday night and carried it over into the first half on Friday night and gave us that 19-point cushion. And again, the bench was involved during these games this weekend, and I thought that was a really good time to get your starters some rest. But you're also seeing some production from your bench now, outside of like Luke Martins. Sure, I mean, and Luke's obviously been, I don't know about a 6th starter, but he's certainly playing a very important role for us and doing some things that probably he wasn't expecting or we weren't expecting in terms of playing defensively at the 5 for us. And but we've got to get more use out of our bench. It's just a challenging league when you play back-to-back nights over a 22-game schedule to think that we're going to continue to use Kevion and Caleb and those guys all 34, 35, 36 minutes a game. Now they'll tell you that they don't ever want to come out, but I think at the end of the day, when we get to February, we're going to want to keep them as fresh as we possibly can. However, as you've mentioned before, it's kind of hard to take that kind of scoring off the court in order to get somebody else out there because, again, they combined for 52 points against Minnesota Crookston, and I think did fairly the same against Bemidji. Talk about what their performance means to this team. Yeah, they had an unbelievable weekend scoring the basketball, and I think someone told me they had 99 points combined on the weekend. And so when you've got your 2 leading scorers and best players averaging 25 a night, it gives you a better chance offensively. I think we're continuing to get better offensively in terms of just our efficiency. Early in the year we really struggled to shoot the basketball at a high level, and I think our shot selection's gotten better. I think our execution's gotten better. We talk to our guys about details all the time in terms of getting easy shots, and Kevion and Caleb certainly had a tremendous scoring weekend. Kevion was really good in the first half both nights. I think he had 21 on Friday night and 20 on Saturday night at the half. And he's got to know, and he knows that people are going to try to take him away. And so we got to find different ways to get him the basketball and different ways for him to score, because people are going to take away his strength, which his strength is obviously to shoot the ball from deep. And he's done it at a really high level now for a couple of years in a row.
All right, and in the Minnesota-Crookston game, Devin Whitelow was able to score 11 points, which was great to see him get some scoring as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the things in this little stretch where we played a little better is we've gotten a third and sometimes a fourth guy to score. You go back to the one that haunts us right now, and you got to forget about it. But the Wayne State game, I mean, Kevion and Caleb both scored there, but we didn't get anybody else to really score in the game. And when we can get a third piece like Andrea's been doing here recently, and then Deb does on Friday night, and Al did on Saturday night, I think it makes us a much better basketball team, because at the end of the day, to rely on just two guys every single game can put you behind the eight ball if things aren't going well for those two. So we always want a third or a fourth guy, and the more balanced we can get scoring, the better off we're going to be.
All right, specifically about Bemidji State, what did you think about your team's performance there to get you your third win in a row?
I thought we were a little sluggish early. That's the challenge we're continuing to talk to our guys about, is being able to bring the same energy level on Saturday that we did on Friday. And I thought last weekend our energy level on Saturday was tremendous, but I think our guys were a little upset about the result from Friday and had a little more motivation. We played very well, played very hard on Friday night. Now can you bring it again on Saturday night? And I wasn't sure it was quite as good. We had some stretches where it was good defensively. I thought offensively, for the most part, the entire weekend we shot the ball well. We had 15 threes, I think, against Bemidji on Saturday night. So anytime you can do that, you're certainly going to help yourself. And Bemidji's much better. They've got a lot of pieces that can really hurt you. Derek Thompson hurt us near the rim, and Nick Wagner hurt us with some crazy shots from 35 feet, and you got to live and die with those. And thankfully we did enough offensively and got key stops. And I thought one of the keys, we watched film with it this morning, is every time they got close, and I think close was 6 points in the second half, we'd make a big basket and typically a three to get it back to 8 or 9 or get it from 7 to 10. And we really never got to the point where they had the ball with a chance to tie it or take the lead. And I thought that was really big for our guys.
All right, this weekend on the road, Southwest and Sioux Falls. What do you guys need to do to keep this roll going?
Well, we got to continue to learn how to play better on the road. Obviously, our only road win is at Moorhead, and we've given a couple games on the road away. And so our ability to play at a high level on the road and have the toughness on the road that we need mentally and physically is something we got to continue to improve on. And so Southwest, Kenny Byers is a really good player, and we've got to do a good job of making his day challenging. They got a couple post players that can do some damage near the rim, and then Sioux Falls is obviously leading the South at 10-2, and they're really big, they're really long, they're tough, they're physical, they control tempo, and so we've got a huge challenge on our hands, obviously Friday and Saturday.
And then again, you'll get to see them mid-February here at McCowan Gymnasium.
Yeah, just the way the schedule bounces is we get them twice in about a 3 or 4 week span. And right now, again, obviously our focus will be today in practice on Southwest, and we've already watched some film on them this morning and go from there.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warriors Fast Break. When we come back, Kevion Taylor will join us right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
On season 2 of Christine on the Coast, life has been crazy busy. I'm in the middle of Reno with a few design clients.
Hi. Christina's new world is a pressure cooker. Hectic home life, demanding clients.
We have fish tanks.
Oh.
She's trying to do it all.
Girls gotta do what a girl's gotta.
While keeping it all together.
Am I ever moody?
I'm not answering that question.
All new Christina on the Coast. Thursday night at 9, only on HGTV.
And welcome back to Warriors Fast Break here on HBC TV 25. We're joined now by Kevion Taylor. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's start off by talking about this weekend, because obviously it was a big weekend for you guys, especially you and Caleb. Big scoring from both of you. Tell us how you felt this weekend.
We always talk about getting off to a great start, starting strong, and being able to keep that going. So before the games, I always mentally prepare myself to make sure that I'm ready to go, locked in. And everybody sees that, and I like to lead by example. So like to get everyone else going after. When they see me going, they'll start to get going too.
All right. I want to ask you about your confidence because it's kind of a surprise to me that maybe you had to work on your confidence a little bit. You were a great player in high school. I think you're third leading scorer all time at Whitnall. What did you have to do to kind of feel more confident on the floor here in college?
Just working on my game, getting in practice before, after practice, talking to my coaches and making sure they're getting me in the right spots. They're drawing up plays for me and stuff like that. So I got to make sure I'm ready to go for those kind of situations. And there's a lot of pressure, and I like it.
I remember reading an article about you that said that maybe early in your career you were looking to pass off first before maybe taking a shot yourself. So where did that change come in? Where now you're comfortable taking those shots?
Just develop a mentality now that I got to score the ball now, or it's going to be a tough day for us, and I just continue to work on that and be confident in my game. Keep working all the time, getting shots up in the gym and all that kind of stuff.
All right, Coach. Obviously, Kevion is a key part to this offense. Is there anything that you want to see him work on?
Well, we want Kevion to continue to get better. One of the things that Kevion and I talked about last spring already was that with the really good sophomore year that he had, he better understand that every scouting report is going to be based on taking Kevion away. So how is he going to grow his game? And we talked about averaging 17 points last year. How can we get him to 17 points a game this year in a different way? And we talked to Kevion about being more aggressive in the paint, being more aggressive on attacks so that he can get to the free throw line more. And I think he's doing a little better job of that this year. We certainly want him to continue to be aggressive near the rim. Kevion's got the frame to do it. He's got the toughness to do it. He doesn't always seek out contact like we want him to get to the free throw line more. But to Kevion's credit, he made three-pointers a game last year, and he's at like 3.7 three-pointers a game this year. Nobody spends more time in the gym than Kevion, and he's probably worn out one of the guns at our place already, and he's getting rewarded for the work that he put in. And now not only is he averaging 17 points a game, he's averaging 21 points a game. And he's seeing the fruits of his labor. He loves to play. He loves to work on his game. He's always asking Coach Melvick to come in and get a workout in, and so his skill set continues to evolve, and it's only going to get more and more challenging for him as the rest of the season goes on and going into his senior year. So we want Kevion to continue to grow his game in every aspect.
All right, I want to ask you a little bit about the Wayne State game because I know the outcome wasn't what you guys wanted, but you were instrumental in getting that game to overtime and keep that game going. Talk about those shots that you had to take in order to extend that game.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, actually. I think we were down like down 6 with like 10 seconds to go and come back. Yeah, I was excited, Dev put that layup back. I think I missed the 3 and he put it back. I was excited for him. And then second overtime, I think that's when I hit a 3. I thought it was over. It was like 2 seconds left, down 3, and then Caleb hits that 3 in the corner. It was crazy, but it was good for us. We needed another shot. Thought we were going to win that, but it was tough. But we'll come back.
When you have second life like that, when it then goes into overtime, and you think, hey, now we got a chance to win this game, how does that change the way that you approach playing in overtime, or does it?
No, it's just like 0-0 now, new game. You got to restart and got to go. I was gassed too that game, so yeah, you just gotta mentally prepare. Like, okay, let's get it. You gotta go again. That's what it is.
All right, and then last question I have for you is: you tend to have a lot of friends and family in the stands watching you during games. What's that like to get that kind of support?
I love when my family comes out to play. It pushes me. Yeah, I know I gotta be on my A game then every day, but especially those days too. Make them proud and come out and watch me again. Want to come out and watch me again.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you for watching Warrior Fastbreak here on HBC TV 25. We'll see you next week.